financial, we can go find a company we can put out there that we just want the lowest bid they can possibly have, but the services we get additionally from Christ through this contract, through some of their services that are quote unquote higher, will be lost. I just want to make that clear, that we will lose a lot of these luxuries that we are getting through the partnership with Christ. Because those companies don't give those to the employees, they don't currently operate under those, they just basically have employees who show up and drive, and that's the only service we get.
And Mrs. Ressler, you've been waiting a while to ask a question.
So I feel like we're talking if we were going to keep it in-house long-term. What if we, I don't know what the drivers want. I've not talked to any of them to know what they want. I want to do what's best for them, obviously.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
You were saying we'd have to purchase another bus. If we just looked at this for 1 year, let's take this next year to really look at this. I'm not saying, because I'm not on the committee, so I'm just speaking here. I'm like trying to work through all this. We won't have to buy another bus for this upcoming school year. That would be the following school year. Like what we have now, our current fleet, would be acceptable to get through 1 more year.
It's acceptable. Again, if we're looking at outsourcing transportation, providing a contract here. We were not looking at long term. If we went status quo moving forward and did not, that's the amount that you see representing our current forecast.
Okay, next. If we did think about this 1 more year, kept it in-house for another year, obviously our drivers need to be paid more. Like they're getting paid right now, what, $140 a day? And
no, our bus drivers are not getting paid $140.
They're not getting paid $140 a day.
$140 a day was the potential. That was the hypothetical
That's
proposal.
to keep us. That would be what we would need to raise to in order to be competitive. And that addition, and I don't know the exact number, so I apologize for this, but that number to budget for and make sure that our drivers had that amount, we would be looking at somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 added to the budget to be competitive.
It would be 200, and the bus would be basically.
Okay, thank you.
So then, I'm not put a thought in anyone's head, but they could potentially resign from here and go work for Christ as a substitute and get paid.
Correct.
Are we going to lose drivers if we don't pass this through?
We have been losing drivers.
We already have.
We have. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, we have been losing drivers.
Well, I know we have, but are we going to lose more? I know we have 11 buses, and so right now we're outsourcing 6, we have 5 in-house.
What we've done for this, and I think this will answer your question, Mrs. Ressler, if this is approved, we have worked with Christ to be able to have Christ guarantee that they will hire our drivers and continue at Littlestown for a much higher rate than what they receive right now. And they would drive Littlestown buses that have Littlestown stickers on the side, drive our students the routes that they currently have. We have worked, Tom has worked extremely hard to make sure that those things were in place. That was a good recommendation to be able to ask, and we have it in writing. So by doing this and accepting this, our drivers would receive higher pay. They would receive benefits such as attendance bonuses. They would receive an opportunity to invest in a 401k if they wished, but that money would not need to go into a 401k. They would have the option to be able to place it there or keep it for themselves instead of what PSERS does, which requires it to be placed into retirement. So this is, in my opinion, a very favorable contract for our, yes.
Yeah, PSERS is the in-house.
Correct, PSERS is the in-house.
So am I allowed to ask them? I mean, some of them are sitting out there. What they want. I want to make sure we're in the right position.
We have asked. We have asked. And the response from the drivers has been, they're okay if we decide to go with a contracted service. Most everyone is in favor of it. 2 were undecided, and 1 is seeking employment elsewhere, and that's based on retirement.
A particular bus driver that was in the audience.
I remember. Yeah.
That particular one was concerned because they haven't reached the PSERS amount, and I think they haven't. And their year does not. A normal year for a teacher is a year. But the bus driver, due to their hours, they don't, a year doesn't always equate to a year. This particular person was about 2.5 years out, and after our
From
meeting.
retirement.
From being
From being
qualified
vested.
for PACERS.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she has to they have to hit a 10-year limit. Following that meeting, another school district offered them a job immediately to work with them on their bus line to complete their PACERS requirement.
So for this coming school year, we just lost another driver.
Yes.
Either way, it's a lot of money.
And the biggest problem is PACERS, because most of the drivers, our average age is about, being nice here, I think it's in the 60s, late 60s.
I would say 60.
Wire's gonna hang me anyway. They're all 60. They're all 60. They're less than 35. So 10 years puts them at 70 if they're just coming on. So do you want us to be driving a bus at 70? Yeah, that means a lot. And most of them are in a retirement. They're doing it for something to come on to. So this is the unfortunate part, and why Christ works out so well, because they've got the ability to pick them up and do things. And I don't like the word to use this, but the fact they can have unemployment insurance and be able to use it in the summer, God bless them. It's not, I don't.
Well, yeah, that's a plus for them.
Yeah,
it's a plus.
Absolutely. On top of the DLE fee, obviously, they're gonna get a lot more money. That's a lot of money. That's great.
And they probably can pick up summertime jobs with Christ, I don't know, running other errands if they want it.
So I would say, hearing this, I would say that an approval of this contract for our drivers would be very similar to doing what we would do to try to raise their rates and improve our fleet without doing those things, without incurring those costs. Because Christ, from everything that I've heard from drivers and others around, is a quality company, one we would like to be able to partner with to be able to provide for our students in our school.
But it is a guarantee if they want our.
It is in writing, as long as they meet
But
the
we got writing our
qualifications.
changes.
Yep.
And they will,
Yep, you can take a look.
Okay.
Yep.
it's
Well,
5 year, not 7 years.
It's 5 with the option to continue or have good faith negotiations with them for that next 5 years.
The other, there's somebody
I'm not
did,
sure I like the extending 5 years.
Well, you
Like
could
now.
renegotiate.
they can
It
negotiate.
should be yearly after the first 5 years.
Well, that was
Not
their,
5 years.
they were, the deal was that,
That was a no.
that was a no, that was like, okay, we
We
do
talked to them,
7
that was a no.
or 5. That was their thing.
It's still 11.
Well, no, I'm not saying the
Yeah.
first additional 5.
Right.
No, the second
So why
5.
would you extend them another 5 years?
But we can renegotiate the length of that at the.
Correct.
In the middle.
Yes.
So once, we're only really locked in to the first
I
5.
would say it's, the negotiation would be the terms, not the length. The length of 5 years in the second term is locked in within this wording.
And we can't get that.
If we move forward and we decide to go, it's locked in for 5.
It would be a negotiation if we were gonna continue or negotiate whatever the terms would be on both ends in that middle part there. If we came to terms and was approved again, it would be another 5-year lock-in. It would not be a 1 year for 5 years, it's a 5-year lock-in.
Mary, to your point, it would be advantageous for Christ to have another 5 years for this reason. They've already established all the buses for us. They would want to roll right back into another 5 years of using them. It would be advantageous for them to have that 5 years for that reason.
For the
It's probably be the same
amortization.
buses for all 10 years.
And advantageous
But that-
to raise the rates however much.
Oh, no, and they would.
Their fleet full. So. it
It's
would
still
be their
11
fleet
buses
that
and we have
they would
declining
use,
enrollment.
And it would not be our buses any longer.
They can only use them up to 10 years. They can only use it.
Yeah, within our current contract, they cannot be more than 10 years old. So that would be something that we would look at
Without approval.
continuing in that second 10 years. Because that is the sweet spot for reimbursement from the state.
I have another question, and I'll say.
So if the, last year's substitute rate was 341, and we negotiated 350, I think that's reasonable. I mean, I understand that you would like it lower, but if that was last year's rate, and would have negotiated, we didn't negotiate a substitute rate for this year, did we?
We did not.
It would probably would have been close to 350 then.
Well, It'll definitely be more than 350 now.
And Tom,
But
what
you're
happened?
reimbursing our
Big wheel.
fuel costs and stuff, that's,
What they, let me pause for 1 second, just to go off the subject. Someone did bring up the fact of using rapid transit as an email to us, as you heard from, our, presenter earlier. Christ is, or not, Rapid is not the most reliable, so that would not work, in this
Right.
effort.
their buses
So-
aren't yellow, they
They're
don't
not
have
big
stop
enough.
signs, they don't
Right.
have the flag.
That was just one of the quick, that's a quick way to go.
I know.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Good.
There's so much information. Okay, so like, my kid's bus driver was one of the ones that ended up leaving, and went someplace else. I don't know where she ended up going. And she was very loved on the route. Are we able to like reach out to her and say, hey, we're looking at going this route, I don't know, and say, would you come back? Can you come back and take your route back? I don't know if that's an option, I don't know if that's an option, or if it's
up to them
a
to
good thought if they want to.
It's them to apply, yeah.
Yeah,
They
it
would
would
have
be
to
for
apply
them
as an
to apply.
employee and just
But
do the
because
whole
they're not an
thing all over
employee
again.
anymore, for us, they wouldn't get.
But they have a history, and Christ might listen to them.
Right.
Yeah, and that's that vendor relationship and that being a local relationship that might be beneficial.
Is there any other thoughts or questions on this?
Is it on or
Okay.
not?
Yeah, well, really, it has to be on the agenda or not on the agenda.
I think it's gonna be off to vote
Okay.
on, it's on,
Yeah.
agenda vote on.
Okay, all right.
Now, we will have to change some things around on the agenda, because A and B are gonna have to go after.
We can
Yeah.
change that, it's,
Yeah.
I would also recommend we pick either A or B, so there's just one official approval.
Well, then, let's put J first. J is A, then that'll determine A or B, and if J is approved, then we don't need to go any further with B or
Just to,
C.
just to avoid any confusion, we'd have just one budget
Yes.
Yes.
for approval, and we would just
Since,
ignore the second.
since you're running the
Yes.
secretary position, we're doing that for you.
Okay.
Just for you, Tom.
All right.
Thank you.
The letter K, to review NRG maintenance agreement for the 25-26 year. This involves our security apparatuses, internet, different services that we provide within the districts. And so, are there any thoughts on that or questions?
I was just clarifying for Mrs. Ewan and Mrs. Ressler, just to be lighthearted. That's our fobs and our cameras, so the maintenance, that's what energy is.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay. All right. I don't know how you want to handle L, because it's,
Well, I did have a question on number one. I did send Tom some stuff today, but there were a couple I wanted to have on public record here that I wanted to ask about. If that's okay now, is it done?
Yes, now's the time.
Okay, all right, from the general funds, an outgoing payment from May 14th to the, Gettysburg Area School District, Homestead, Farmstead share, we paid them $1,300.16. Why?
That would be for they take on the burden of taking on all the Adams County and sending all the Homestead, Farmstead mailing. So that's our portion of the postage.
Okay,
So they take on the postage and the mailing of that, we just essentially pay them for
That's
that
Good
service.
Good service.
okay.
They have been very generous over the years.
That just saves us from having to do it and pay.
Yeah.
Correct.
It takes away from people. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, because I thought, wait a second, that was just for us. Okay, thank you. The next two are about the same, from May 22nd to Lincoln Edge, 529 to Lincoln Cyber. Aren't they, those aren't Littlestown cyber schools, are they? Because we have Thunderbolt Cyber Academy.
That is.
So we have 3 cyber schools still?
It's one and the same.
It's the same, Littlestown Cyber Academy.
So we don't, I do not support, because I can't support students with IEPs
So
in a
there's.
cyber school setting. But Lincoln Edge will supply a learning support teacher, make those adaptations, modifications, take that IEP process, and support that student in the cyber school setting. So that's where you're seeing some of those.
Okay, because those are
Funds.
pretty high expenses, so,
Yes, I would say you're very accurate
yeah.
with that.
Like $20,000 high.
So
Yeah, that we pay to, that we're paying ourselves typically, is that kind of,
No,
just
we're
help me
not-
understand it.
We're paying for Lincoln Edge to supply the cyber school courses for their students. And in addition to
And
that.
that would be special education
In
students.
addition to that, yes, supply a learning support teacher and all of those other services that that student would receive through their IEP.
Yep.
Kind of-
So we have to have it.
Yes.
We have to have it, okay,
Before you go to the
Yes.
next question,
yeah,
before you go to the next,
okay.
are you done?
No, he was, I think, are you still clarifying?
Yes, but, and that is still obviously a lot cheaper than that student attending a cyber
Sure.
school. So
Yes.
it's still advantageous as well to have them remain a Little Sound student in that setting, in that format, receiving a Little Sound diploma and so forth and so on.
Okay.
As opposed to just jettisoning them, hey, I don't have those services, I can't help you out.
Okay,
So you're seeing some of that give and take to help keep the costs down from that perspective as well. But it is a higher cost.
yeah, that's okay, thank you, I just wanted clarification, because I'm like, wait a second, we have three? That makes sense, okay.
Oh, Nick, you had a question?
Yeah,
Is there no, it's probably a no, but there's no more cost-effective way to have our staff, obviously not you, but other staff that would support IEP,
It's a very interesting concept.
Translation, no.
I would say that's a very interesting concept to look into. If there are those individuals here in the district that could provide those services, that would be something that maybe we could look at. We would need building level admin to support that and look at that and see if that would be available within the daily schedule for some of those services to be utilized differently. So you're looking at things differently from that perspective.
so that sounds like a joint report from that side of the table.
You're looking at your learning support teachers who are working with kids on site here face-to-face, taking time out of their day to work with cyber school kids, is what Eric is saying. So that is where you would, it is working with schedules to see if there is any time in their day to take away from the kids they're working with here and supporting, and then having them go on to the students who are in Lincoln, and then also knowing that curriculum and supporting them in that curriculum, which is not our curriculum.
And you might
Which
not-
would be not any different than a regular ed teacher, instead of covering a study hall, having cyber phys ed. So, yes, there are a lot of curveballs I can throw, but you're looking at those dynamics that also save on that cost of not paying for a cyber school instructor.
And you might not know the answer to this, but do you know what the cost difference is between sending a student to Lincoln Edge versus having them in our in-house?
They're probably half the cost.
Significant.
Back to you.
okay, one more. On May 29th, there was a pretty significant amount to Sun Coach Line from January to March for $387,000, $892.61. So what is that for?
That would be from September through now of their billing that they have not given us to that point.
Okay, who is Sun Coach Line?
That would be Lincoln Coach or Lincoln Bus that we currently contract with, was not providing their invoices after several requests until finally they did all in one go.
And they want, oh my gosh,
Terrible.
that is awful.
And
Well, that's great.
So, can we look at changing to something else? If that's how
fortunately,
they're
we
gonna
are
operate?
under contract until 2026 and 2027.
Okay, so we have one more year.
Two on the special needs and one on the non-public.
That makes it hard to budget.
Well, it's within the budget, we're just,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need those for
I
reporting
thought, oh,
requirements,
The
but
cost
they
is
just
just there all
They
over.
could go
do
in
not
and
give
they
us
don't
till
have
time.
national
They're just
board.
billing once a year, they're just easier on that.
I don't believe it's the best
Same.
business practice.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for clarifying, I really appreciate
So,
that.
we're looking at, L, and we got, we talked about the general fund checks, what Janelle was talking about is from, 2 to 8, is there any other?
I wanted to discuss on L1, I'm sorry. Tom, can I ask you a question? With recent solicitor bills, last month being $6,238.50, what have you put in the budget for a cap amount this year? I thought last year was $40,000.
It's the exact same.
It's the exact same as $40,000? Because we've exceeded that.
We did not up or down the legal, I believe it, from last year. I believe it's between both general and special needs, I think it's, both those combined, it's a little higher than that. I don't know the exact off the top of my head, but that would be just like the general services, but we also have a lot of amount for special needs services as well.
But we still went over to 40,000.
I didn't look at that in particular.
Oh, I had it above 33 before you added the 6,000 recently, so I would say, yeah. And I'm curious.
40?
That's 30.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
Yeah.
We'll take a look. I thought it was around 40 or 50, but I can't recall. But
It's
we'll
at,
take a
I
look.
believe around 60 or 65, all, both of the services combined, but know which is what, how much of each, I don't know off the top of my head.
Right.
So
Well,
you're
I
saying
know
the
that stock
40 is
wages
just the
are-
general?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're saying the 40 is just the general, or it's for both?
Correct, but if special needs would not use their full amount, it would funnel into the general services. It's just right now that we have earmarked amounts.
No, I
as
mean,
a
for
gas.
Dwayne, tell him that 40 is just for general, or it's for the two of them?
That would be just for general.
So if they did go, it'd be for other things, not just general stuff.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, is there any other thoughts, questions on L2 through 8? Do I need to read them out?
That'd be enough.
Okay, I guess that's,
Carl's gonna make you.
What
say
about
that,
them
and
too?
noted.
No. Oh, we're just noting it.
that's next week.
Oh.
You can still say.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Tom a question on that anyway, if we could, if it's just noted. Our financing expenditures, Tom, as I wrote in here, were $4 million, up from $2.15 million last year. Do you expect us to exceed the $4.18 million this coming year?
This, no, that would be, they are a one-for-one, what, essentially what our mortgage payment would be. There's no up or down, so that would,
Okay.
it should be almost to the dollar. Like, we round the dollar up, so it could be
Right.
some more change, but it should be almost exactly to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Sorry.
Steve, you're done?
Steve?
All right, I'm gonna try not to be as long as Steve is.
Thank you, Nick.
Wait a minute.
I do have some questions now, just to give you a heads up.
Well, we're gonna have to take a review. Items A through E are typical personnel items, resignations, hires, and transfers. The monthly passage of these standard personnel items is a priority to allow the district to remain operational and recruit and retain quality staff. Are there any questions on personnel items A through E?
Yes. I'm sorry, I have two. Just want some clarification. Letter C, you have the 2025 curriculum supplemental hires. I have a question because it sounds like we're going from 3 teaching team back down to a 2 teaching team on these, correct?
On C?
On C, yes. Isn't that, the one with the 2 fifth grade teachers?
Yeah.
Who wanna get together and figure out curriculum? Okay, so my question is, how many years have we been 3 teaching teams?
I wanna say 3 or 4, but I don't know the answers.
Okay,
I
You think it's
believe,
longer?
I don't believe it was all that long because we moved and when I started in 2021, I don't believe that we were in 3 teams, we were in teams of 2.
okay,
So it's been back and forth, previous administration.
okay.
Not
Wasn't
really
this done in
started
the
on
curriculum committee?
specific.
Didn't you discuss this in the curriculum committee?
Three.
Meeting?
No.
I'm saying,
Well, that's my question. Well, sounds like they wanna going back to 2 teaching teams, but shouldn't that be pretty simple? I mean, the one teacher I absolutely love and adored, my son loved and adored her too. I'm not saying they don't need that, but with just having that, is it necessary to go back, and what exactly are they gonna be looking at? They only did three teams of teachers for the last 3 years, and they're going back to 2 teams of teachers. I guess my question is, how difficult is that to go back to? I know they had like a science teacher, a math teacher, and an ELA teacher. So are they just trying to figure out who's gonna be teaching what again?
And working it back into those timeframes of only 2 teacher teams versus 3. So if I'm teaching ELA and social studies, like what does that look like to my day and putting that curriculum back into my portion of the day versus when the students are with their math and science teacher? And then I would say the other part of that is there's been a lot of movement over the last couple of years as to who's been teaching in grades 4 and 5. So a lot of these partnerships are new as well. So I think it's really a lot of planning and aligning this summer for those 2-person teams.
It is the first step in trying to maintain consistency within the elementary school because of the amount of change that has happened over several years. So it is also a balance of trying to maintain an elementary setting while preparing our students for success in the middle school, where it is departmentalized and it's more like a high school setting, it's more like a junior high. So it's a matter of balancing those 2 things, and just as Dr. Merriman said, trying to make sure that our teachers have the best foot forward moving forward.
Okay, one more. Letter D, number 1, the transfer of the building principal. I recall at several times at the meetings we've had over the last couple of months, 6 months, that we weren't gonna do anything until the merge happened. So I guess I'm a little confused at this.
Mrs. Glass was currently doing this on a modified contract put together by the previous administration, which is somewhat haphazard, I would say. And she just received her certificate that actually is an administrative certificate. So all the work that Mrs. Glass has been doing while she was called a middle school assistant principal has actually been a dean of students, where she has not been able to evaluate or work with staff. This is a transfer to allow her to begin that process in 12 months and provide her an opportunity so that she doesn't get her certificate and leave like others have.
Wait, I understand that, but my concern with this is that we don't know what the merge is gonna look like with the middle school coming up and, with the high school.
Correct.
I mean, is it something we have to do right now? Can we wait?
Is this worded properly? Because she's not a building principal. I thought she is an assistant principal.
She's an assistant principal, and she's moving into an assistant principal. It's a difference between 10 months and 12 months.
Why does it say building principal?
Should it say assistant?
Board secretary. Also, we've got me, Carl, Nick, and Steve who went through and looked at it and reviewed it. It should say assistant principal.
Not building
Yeah,
principal.
correct. Correct.
So is Karen not currently in the Act 93?
She is in the Act 93, but her contract is different because it's being paid more like a
Teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, with days that she doesn't report here, that she uses and tries to coordinate. It makes it much more efficient and better for Dr. Berryman and the other principals to plan when we know she's going to be here.
Does she currently get the 10-month assistant principal salary that's in the
Yes.
Act 93?
Yes.
So this is an increase, okay?
It is an increase in pay, and she has received her principal certificate as well as her supervisor of special education certification. It was a dual certificate.